It's February 17, 2025, Monday at noon, and I'm at my old homestead. I come back here often. This is where I lived for almost 2 years when I first got here. Everything's the same. It's a little drier right now than it has been. Things are browner, but it's the same. And I brought my new van out. I'm going to give it a shakedown run. It's going to take several shakedown runs because I've stuffed a lot of junk in there. It's all functional. The plan is at some point when I get a place to do it, because I really can't do it very well at the RV park where I'm staying. I could, but I would like to get some 2x4s and build a permanent bed, install it permanently rather than the temporary one that I have in there. The one I have is fine. Mainly it was to experiment with the dimensions and the placement and everything, as well as all the rest of the stuff. It's all relatively temporary. And starting under the weight cover there in the back is my freezer and my cooler, Coleman cooler on top, and various stuff that I've got ready to deploy. So this is the travel mode. I can quickly make it so I can do stealth camping, just moving things around a little bit and making the bed, because I have things laying on the bed for transport that I don't have to have there. So it will all change, but just to give you an overview, this camera doesn't work very well as for close-ups. It doesn't zoom out far. So I have to place it back here while I go up and show you what I've got here. On top is a Coleman cooler for food as it thaws out, to keep it everyday food will be in there. Underneath that is my freezer. I keep it set for 0 degrees Fahrenheit and keeps things frozen, and as I need them I'll transfer them into that Coleman cooler to thaw and consume. Just a backpack for bug out situations. I keep a few things in that are essential. I have a table that will come out, and I'll place it in the tent that I have. It's a foldable table, and then I did buy a canvas tarp for underneath because of the rocks that I have here that we have on the desert. This is all very rocky, and it would wear out the bottom of the tent real quick. Diesel fuel for my diesel heater. That comes out. That's just there for transportation. That comes out and it sits next to the side window over here. It keeps all the burning and flames and fumes on the outside, and I just pipe the heat inside. Beyond that, over here somewhere is my kitchen. I have food packed there, and mainly food and my excuse me, my kitchen appliances. I have on the top there, it's an air fryer. I also have a toaster, a hot plate, a water kettle to boil water, and a pressure cooker. I'm loving that stuff. That pressure cooker, I can cook everything in that pressure cooker. And it runs, everything is less than 1,000 watts. And I know you can't see me, but you can hear me, I hope. anyhow, I'll sit down and talk at you. Everything I have individually is less than 1,000 watts. And I have a 2,000 watt inverter. So that I can run all that stuff for quite a while. I have a 200 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. That gives me 2,400 watt hours, I think. Something like that. So that I can run a 1,000 watt appliance for 2.5 hours. I'll check these numbers, but you get the drift. But of course everything is done in 15 minutes. So I don't use a whole lot of power for that. And underneath the bed I've got the tent stored out. I'll show you that in another video. But for now, I'm going to set up my computer. Yeah, I figured I'd just show you how I get in this thing. It's not the easiest thing to get into, but this is the driver's side sliding door, side door. And you kind of have to fold yourself in half to get in here. It makes it a little bit better that I have this stow and go compartment, a little space, a little vacant space, so I can step in that and not have to bend so far. But anyway, as you can see, the bed is at the right height, so I don't hit my head. I've got a few inches up there. Maybe you can see. I've got my satellite dish and my computer on the bed next to me here. I will I guess I'll just set that up, and I'll turn this off and set that up. And getting out, you gotta fold yourself in half. That's all for that one. So I was gonna try to video the inside of this, but there's no way to do it with this camera. Everything is too close. It needs like a fisheye lens, so I can zoom out on show more space condensed. So that's a bummer, but anyway, it's no big deal. I'll work around it eventually. And I'm disappointed. I thought I was in like Flynn. Since I bought this van, I was getting free satellite radio. It was either a promotional thing, or they just had it for a period, and the period ran out. So now, if I want to listen to radio, I gotta think about purchasing satellite radio. I sure did enjoy it though, because with the mountains around us and no big cities, we don't get reception hardly at all. Just a couple stations that I don't listen to. I don't like those stations. So I don't get radio and stuff and news. I suppose it's not critical so much now because I've got my satellite Starlink dish set up, got plenty of power and sunshine, and I got my computer. Right now I'm working on compiling the video for upload to YouTube. It's not a good video, but it's the first test that I'm doing completely out here in the desert, out in the boondocks. Nothing around me, off-grid totally. I got a few cold beers in the fridge. Cheers to you. Uh, and one of these nights, I'm going to stay out here. This ain't going to be the one, though. I don't feel ready. I don't know why. Let's see, why don't I feel ready? I don't know. I kind of like my Airstream. I'm feeling pretty good there, pretty comfortable. I don't have neighbors immediately next to me. There's 2 vacant lots. There's not many vacant, there's a lot of vacant lots around the park. And it turns out there are not many people flying the flags blatantly. There's a few. But it seems to have passed. There's no great upheaval. Maybe people are like me. I'm just resolved to accept the fact that it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm enjoying it. It's pretty quiet. The weather's not bad and nobody bothers me. You get the constant, the ATVs, like here even, just buzzing around, and they aggravate me. I got to get away from them, and they buzz around in the park constantly. And you can tell there's just people from who knows where, just driving around in the park, eyeballing, looking. I don't like being somebody's entertainment, But anyway, it is what it is, like I say. So, that's all for now. Uh-oh. Maybe I got this. Doing several things at once here. Trying to see if I can get a shot from inside. I've got the camera all the way up right by the mirror, the rear view mirror. And I'm sitting on almost the end of my bed in travel mode. Not quite. But here's as far as the back window. And here's my computer. Yeah, you can see that. Stuff in storage, transfer mode. Kitchen. I've been working with my electrical system. Getting things charged, adjusting the charge voltages and stuff. I've been undercharging my batteries. Being a little bit too cautious and conservative. I didn't fully charge them. I never was really fully charging them. So, I'm going to see how this turns out. I'm looking at the screen. I'm trying to see that if what you're going to see later in this video. I got my diesel heater stored over here in this rear corner. Yeah, you can see my food back here behind the computer. This is the camping mode. I would normally, in transfer mode, have this sitting face down on the bed, along with my Starlink satellite dish, which is also outside. It's not in travel mode. It's in camping mode. That would be sitting here on the bed too, and I'd be sitting up there in the driver's seat. So, I sure wish I would go ahead and build a little remote control switch for this thing. I've been promising to do that for the longest time. Anyhow, I'm going to turn it off and. Hello there, welcome to my humble abode. I'm really liking this. I've got my kitchen appliances all set up out here. I'm gonna air fry some French fries. They're not really thawed. I'm waiting for them to thaw out a little bit, you know, give me a little bit of a head start on that. Just things that are coming to me as I sit here and thinking, I have plenty of room out here now. I've moved my cassette toilet back here and my little porta potty. The cassette toilet is just to cover my bases. If I go into like an LTVA, long-term visitors area, yeah. Some of the places have a rule that you have to be fully self-contained, which means you have to have at least a cassette toilet, and with chemicals and water, and then that's the type of thing you dump into a sewer system. The little porta potty is so perfect, but it's not above board. I mean, it's so easy. You just do your number one out in the bushes and do your number two in a little plastic bag. Tie it up, and it's totally sanitary and contained, and then you pass by a dumpster and you toss it in a dumpster. It is so easy, clean, and convenient. But I'm convinced you're not supposed to do that for many different reasons. But anyhow, that's back here, and now that I've freed up a lot of space, but I don't have any more area to use in the van as I'm in travel mode, and I need more space. I need to bring a few more pots and pans for cooking, although for most of this I don't need it. Like I've got the water kettle. I don't need a teapot. I've got a pressure cooker, so I don't need a bowl or a pan or a pot. Got the air fryer. It's self-contained. I do have the toaster. It's self-contained, but I do have the hot plate, and it needs. I didn't bring my pan. I have a titanium pan it's pretty hard to use. But anyway, I need to have more room for incidentals like cooking oil, olive oil, salt and pepper. I have some of that stuff on that shelf up there, but like I'm saying, I don't have enough room. I could always use more water. And I did not fully pack the freezer or the Coleman cooler. You know, the plan is to be able to supply myself for 2 weeks with this stuff. So as I travel, I'll go from BLM place to BLM place, stopping at grocery stores in between and packing this thing full of food, staying out for 2 weeks at a time. But they're just I can't put any more underneath the bed. The bed is the major space hog because I have to sit on top of it. I do have a 6-inch memory foam mattress, but when you sit on it like a chair, it squishes down to 2 inches, you know. And if I was to raise that up just by 2 inches to put more stuff underneath it, I'd be bumping my head, because that would raise me up while I'm sitting there by 2 inches, the full 2 inches. So I can't pack very much more at all. I could be more organized with it, because I tried to buy some, and I will continue to shop for them. When I went to the Dollar General store, I couldn't find an appropriate storage bin that would fit underneath. I found one, but anyway, I couldn't buy it. Didn't work. So I'm thinking the only thing I got left right now is a passenger seat. I could get a square box, maybe something like another Coleman cooler, to set in the seat, in the front seat. I could even make it taller. It could be as, this tall, the size of the seat, and pack it. I've resisted that for some reason. I don't know. It's just that seat is wasted space. Nobody can sit there because the bed's too long. And anyway, yeah, just more to think about, more to do. But the rest of it, this stuff back here, it's way cool. And there's this area right here. There's only, I'm letting those thaw out, the French fries. There's 2 RVs parked together over here. There's me, and one guy just pulled in, another trailer on the other corner, way over there. So this is not a well-used area right here. So I'm liking that. It's warm today. It's probably 85 degrees out there. Suddenly, boom. It's been too cold all this time, and now suddenly it's too hot. It's the way it works out here. And yes, I'm tired of the desert. We're in a long drought again, and everything is just brown and blue. I love the blue skies, but everything else is just brown. And it consists of nothing but creosote bushes. That's the only thing that survives, and that type of thing. Creosote bushes and palo verde and cactus and 1 or 2 other things, just, and very little wildlife. So it's, once you've seen the desert, been here, done that, need the shade, need some green, need some water. But I'm working on that. California or bust. Yeah, I had a little bit of a aggravation. I hope I understand what happened. My check engine light is on now. I think it was because I was going at high speed, and I never did this before. I switched in my charging unit to charge my battery, and I've never done that. Usually I start the engine and let it idle, hit the button on the little circuit board I made, and it comes on and nice and smoothly, and it goes through the DC to DC converter and starts charging. Well, this time I did it on the expressway coming here, and I don't know for a fact, but I'm hoping that's all it is, that it just was a sudden change to the voltage as I'm driving, that it tripped some kind of alarm, some kind of code. I'll have to check on that and see what happens. There's a breeze here. These windows, this is nice. Of course, it's still not going to work in the summertime, but with a little bit of a breeze, and I started sweating it when I first started putting the thing up, and I haven't stopped. I got here this morning, I would guess around 11 o'clock, maybe noon, and for the next maybe hour and a half, it maybe took me that long to get everything put up. Then I putzed around for another half an hour or so, and now it's it's about 4 o'clock, and I'm still sweating. I don't know what this is that there is about me, that I have certain limitations. I just cannot discipline myself to record the time that I start doing things. I am in a total different frame of mind, and things like, oh, record the time. This is when you started. I have no idea how much time it takes me to put up this tent, other than I can estimate an hour, whatever. eventually I will get a good reading, but it will be after a practice, which is probably okay anyway. I don't need, because I know it's going to take me half the time once I get good at this. So anyhow, I'm putting together another video. If I do it the way I've got it now, it's going to be a long one, but I guess it doesn't matter. I have no idea. I'm trying to learn YouTube and what it is. They have the algorithm that tries to promote your videos. And I'll cut this part out, probably, because I don't want to piss anybody off. And I learn from these videos. I go back and look at them, and I go, oh, I can do that a different way, a better way, or yes. I even leave notes to myself. You know, like, buy a thing, or don't bring this thing, or you forgot that thing. I don't think it's going to get cold enough tonight to actually use it, but I want to test the diesel heater again. Do a test of it. Because if everything goes well, I will be constantly chasing that cold weather. Not catching up with it, but just on the edge of it, to where I might need, once in a while, some heat. Because I don't want to be here this summer again. I don't have the wherewithal, and it's just too hard. This is the first time in when was the last time I had a car that had a working air conditioner? Many years. The old van never worked. It never had an air conditioner. I had it for years, many years. Bought it in 2016, and 7 years without an air conditioner out here in the desert summer in Arizona. That was difficult. So the only time I could ever get any, and I refused to go in to drive a 45-mile round trip to the grocery stores and restaurants in Quartzsite, because I don't like that place, for one thing. It's just too crazy. So anyway, I will have air conditioning, but it's not going to be like, it won't be capable of keeping this air conditioned. It probably won't keep the whole van air conditioned, just the up front part of it, in my guesstimation. So I'm probably going to turn this off. See, these are still not thawed. Almost. Like, note to self, bring your step stool. It's foldable. It's meant for this. And I gotta have it for this. So that's all for now.